watch the show with you watch Jerry comedians having coffee in cars?
Jay Leno?
No. Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh yeah. Once.
Netflix. Yeah, that's what I feel like right now. What's going on, everyone? Adam Swords here. We're on Cool Places with Cool People. We're actually in my buddy Peter Tran's car. We're doing a new one today, so we are off to Peter's restaurant.
Family
restaurant. The one thing that everyone knows about Peter, if you follow me on Instagram, he is the man, the myth, the legend who makes every property I put on the market absolutely amazing, and I can't thank him enough for what he has changed in my career. So, Peter, thanks for doing this with me, buddy.
No worries.
So we get in the car right now, and we're kind of like, what are we going to talk about? And I said, I have no idea, and that's what's so great about these. So, Peter, how did you even get into photography? And like, was it always properties, or were you doing something before that? It
actually all started with fashion photography.
Oh, okay.
I've always been into fashion, and that fashion led into weddings, and then, you know, a few of my friends got into commercial real estate, so I shot their properties, and then just led over to, you know, residential. Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you feel like you always had a knack for photography, or was that something you had to learn over time?
Oh, it definitely had to learn over time, and with photography, you're always learning, right?
Yeah.
You know, in any industry, if you want to be ahead, especially in the artistic industry, you always have to be ahead of the game, right? So you're always learning. But yeah, when I initially started, it was definitely a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. I will say, like, I mean, for me, the reason why like it took me so long to find like the right photographer is that a lot of people are just like that standard, like shoot, like there's no creative part about it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that like even your photography is just like that next level, because I feel like you're always like trying to find pushing the next level of like gear or lenses or style or editing.
Yeah.
So do you feel like right now the direction of photography, is it going in a good direction, or do you feel like because now everyone can own a camera that it's kind of getting watered down a little bit?
Direction of photography, I mean, like you said, everybody with the phone, everybody, you know, the cameras are making it easier for photographers just to shoot.
Yeah.
But the issue is that how you shoot the photo is different, right? And how you edit is going to be different. So that's something that it takes time to learn. Anybody can just shoot, but the creative side is the hard part.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you doing a lot of stuff in post now?
A lot of it's in post, but a lot of it is actually, you know, if you have a good foundation, so you have to shoot it right the first time before. So a lot of the issue with a lot of photographers now is that, oh, I'll just fix it in Photoshop.
Yeah.
What happens with that is that, you know, you're taking 5 to 10 minutes of extra editing when you could have just done it right the first time.
Well, I mean, I know how busy you are, and I know how long post takes. So I mean, I think that's, you know, so true in that, because, you know, you can't fix everything in post. So okay, so you went from fashion to weddings to commercial, and then you went into residential. And I think that's when we met, when you were first kind of cracking into residential.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like that's all I mean, like, obviously I see you doing a commercial a bit. I know you do a little wedding, but I feel like residential is blown up for you.
It definitely has. Reason being is because when I started doing weddings, I kept the business separate. Like, I've always done commercial real estate, right? But I kept the business separate because a bride doesn't want to hire a real estate, you know, photographer, and then vice versa, right? Agent doesn't want to hire a wedding photographer. Yeah. What do they know about architectural photography? Mm-hmm. You know? So I kept it separate, but ever since I had my baby, right, it's like, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, business is business. Exactly. So if you hire me, right?
Yeah. When I think for you, like, I don't think that slowed you down at all. You know, because you're still traveling. I mean, last time, when I was in Hawaii last year, you were in Hawaii shooting a wedding.
That's right.
Like, I feel like you shoot a lot of weddings still, but I definitely feel like, you know, was that a hard transition for you to make from wedding to properties, or it was almost kind of a smooth transition?
No, it's a smooth transition. I mean, being a photographer, you can't be good at one specific thing, right? You have to be good at everything, whether it's portrait photography, wedding photography, architectural, or lifestyle. You know, you have to dabble in everything, you know, so that way you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you take your artistic skills from being a fashion photographer and kind of apply it towards like architectural photography, or residential, you know? You just kind of twist it.
So is there one you like more than the other?
No. Photography's photography for me, you know?
Do you feel like, because like I have Brant, my videographer, who's a new kid who just graduated college, went to photography college or whatever. Do you feel like that's a must for most people, or do you think just trial and error, just go out and shoot as much stuff as possible, maybe go work for someone like you that can teach you the ropes and learn from their mistakes?
So I mean, I didn't go to college for photography or go to any type of school. It was all trial and error. I wouldn't recommend doing your trial and error with a potential client.
Yeah,
that's just wrong, you know? Like, so what I did was just shot my own house.
Yeah.
Right? If I want to learn a new technique, I would shoot it at my house before I go out to the real world and actually apply those techniques. Yeah. You know? So you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to go to school for it. I mean, you got YouTube now.
Yeah.
You know, that teaches a lot. But like I said, the creative side, anybody can learn the basics of photography. It's the creative side that college and schools don't teach.
Yeah. But I think that's what a lot of like agents in my world, because I'm a real estate agent, they think they can get a nice $4,000 camera and go shoot a house, when it's like, dude, I can't shoot. I don't see the things that you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just don't have that artistic, especially like creating videos. I just can't do that. I just don't have the skill set. But you know, so talking about gear, talking about that, do you feel like someone needs to get, like, you know, we're doing this podcast to kind of help people kind of get, you know, into whatever we're talking about. And I know there's a lot of people that want to be in photography, but do you feel like they need to go out and buy a Sony A7 II or you know, the gear is not as important as most people think? Or is there a breaking ground? Like, are they having to buy the Canon M5, you know, Mark V, or could a Canon 70D work just fine? Or a Canon, like, is there a barrier on gear level?
There is. I mean, you can buy basic gear, right? But then your gear is going to start limiting you.
Yeah.
To do certain things. So I'm a type of guy is buy nice or buy twice.
No, I'm always buy nice. Well, you know, I buy like the most expensive thing even when I need it.
Yeah. So that way, once you learn your level of skill, you know, if your level of skill grows, your gear will still be able to handle that, right? But if you buy like a point, let's just say a point and shoot camera, and your skill level is like up here, but then your camera level is down here, then you're buying more gear.
So would you tell someone to go with a DSLR, or would you go mirrorless?
I would go mirrorless.
Mirrorless.
I would go mirrorless. I mean, you just get so much more. It's smaller, it's more compact. I mean, for me, like when I was shooting with the DSLR Canon, to be exact, it was just so bulky and heavy.
So heavy, yeah.
It's really heavy. And if you're doing that all day, 9 hours, 12 hours a day, shooting all day with a bulky, heavy camera, your wrist is gonna like go.
And then do you think it's the body or the lenses? Like, do you
it's
feel
both.
like both?
It's kind of like the same thing with your skill level.
Yeah.
You know, you got to match it with your hardware. Yeah.
Because like for me, like I used to shoot on I will say when we first met, you were shooting on the 70D, weren't you? The
A7R.
Yeah.
A7R.
But then I remember when you made that switch to Sony, I could tell the difference.
Yeah.
I could tell the difference in the photos. Like, what's funny is I like how Sony's look, but I know other people like how Canon's look, and I'm like, for me, I think Sony's a better, crisper, for property photos, I feel like the Sony's a better shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
Hands
you get
down,
more.
I think it's so much better.
You get it's super sharp, more detailed, obviously because of megapixels, right?
Yeah.
But then again, it's the lenses too.
Yeah.
You know, so you got a $4,000, you know, Sony camera, but then you match it up with a, you know, a $200 lens. You know, it doesn't jive.
Yeah.
You know, you're eliminating the quality.
Yeah. So the growth of where you're at now, you're at a point where like I feel like you're busy every day. Like you shoot almost every day now.
I mean, it was 4th of July.
Yeah, you're shooting yesterday. Yeah. Or editing or something.
And editing, yeah.
What did you think you went from when we first met, where I mean, I can call you 3 days in advance, be like, yo, I got a house to shoot. Now, when I go on a listing presentation, I'm texting you before I'm going in there, like, yo, when's your next day?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know I'm going to be 2 weeks out. Where was that? How did you jump in that business? Was it just word of mouth? What was that kind of what you think helped you get to that next level?
It's all word of mouth. And my business now is solely all word of mouth. I'll go to meetings here and there with brokerage.
Yeah.
But I don't really like doing those. Because I don't really like selling myself.
Yeah.
I mean, my work should speak for itself.
Exactly.
You know, and it's customer service.
Yeah.
Right. You take care of who takes care of you.
Exactly.
And then it'll come back tenfold. Right.
Well, and that's why I'll wait. You know, I know a lot of agents who are just be like, okay, whoever's available. It's like, no, I'm like, I want the same product every time. I mean, you've shot. You know, we make this joke all the time, but I'm like, I never make Peter's Instagram page because he's shooting, you know, $90,000 mobile homes for me, and I'm paying someone that then will go shoot a $10 million house on the beach. But it's like, for my clients, that's the most important thing. I'm not gonna just shoot anything with anyone. And it's funny how so many people are blown away by the professionalism. Almost, you kind of screw me sometimes, because sometimes they don't want to move out of the house because the house looks so good in the photos. So, but no, I think word of mouth, and I definitely think that, like, for you, like, I've never had you go do a reshoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know other agents that have to have their agents go do reshoots. You know, there's other agents that, you know, that aren't happy with the videos or those kind of things. So, but now you're trying to now you're peaked out. So you're trying to grow a team now, or you're trying to grow more of a business now? What's the next step for you?
Definitely the next step is hiring another photographer, somebody that's better than me.
Yeah.
You know, because that's good business practice, right? If they do good, I do good, everybody does good.
We're all happy.
We're all happy. You know. So yeah, definitely expand the team. Yeah, just that way, nothing's left on the table.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, obviously we've done it a few times, and it's kind of like, you know, I don't know if it's here yet, but, you know, you're like the 360 tour, you know, where are you feeling like that? Do you see that's a must now in this market with realtors, or do you feel like the technology's not there for you?
For 3D virtual tours?
Yeah.
3D virtual tours is specific, right? Like, I do a lot of 3D virtual tours in Irvine.
Yeah. Why?
Is because a lot of the people in Irvine, they're out of country.
Yeah.
They're out of, you know, overseas. So they want to have that feeling that they're walking through the house. Video is cool. Video is a wow factor, right? But then if you want to get down to the nitty gritty and see like every corner, every detail, 3D virtual tour is the way to go. If it's not that, right? If you don't have time to do open house, right? Or if you want to buy time, here's the 3D virtual tour. You know, let me know when you're available. We'll meet you at that property, right? It's a convenience thing. But another thing is that 3D virtual tour is a really good sales tool for agents to gather and to capture information. Because, like, for me, like, it's like asking a girl for their number, right?
Yeah.
Hey, can I have your number after, you know, when you do your open house? You know, hey, can I have your number so I can email you my information?
Yeah.
It's doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right? So it's better, like, say, hey, you know, how'd you like the house? Great. Let me email you a 3D virtual tour.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to capture their information without asking for it, right?
Yeah, I would still feel like, for me, I feel like at a certain price when I do it. I don't know why, but I feel like over like 700,000, I do it. Just because I feel like that clientele, that is one extra thing that a lot of people are not doing.
Yeah.
Just like when we do twilight shots, like, I'll say some of the coolest shots we've ever had are the twilight shots that you do. Where I don't think people realize how much work goes into them, where I'm running around with the light and you're flashing it.
It's a Twilight is definitely something that would set you apart. I mean, it's all marketing, right?
Yeah.
It's all about setting yourself apart from all the other agents, you know? So doing Twilight is obviously it has to fall in your budget, you know, right? But if the house is super nice, has a lot of landscape lighting, or if you're planning to farm that area, then definitely do whatever you can within your budget to set yourself apart, so that way you can go and farm that area, you know? So say, this is what I did for this property, I can do it for yours.
So obviously you hate selling yourself, but what do you think what it was that taught you to get so much word of mouth, you know? Like if there's like 3 things that you felt like you dove deep in when you first started in the industry that led to so much, because I think a lot of people like focus on the wrong things that they think, even agents do it, or they think like, oh, this is what matters. And you're like, no, it really, what was like the 3 things you thought like really mattered to spread the word so much about you?
Customer service,
Yeah.
huge, right? And you gotta take care. Like I said, I always say, take care of whoever takes care of you, right? And then it comes back tenfold. Just do the best. If it's a $50,000 home versus a $32 million home, you treat it as a $32 million home, right? It doesn't matter. Treat every home the same, as far as service-wise, and quality-wise, right? Every home, style-wise, is different, right? So the new thing now is that I'm trying to create is, you know, a magazine-style type of shoot. Because a magazine-style shoot, editorial-style shoot, is going to attract the higher-end clients.
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't attract the higher-end clients, at least it's like a wow factor, like, you know, like picking up a nice Lux magazine or, you know, Detail magazine, you know?
Yeah.
So
customer service for sure. What was the next one?
Shooting style, and just be consistent with your work and responsive.
I feel like for you, for what really like caught me was like, especially me being in the Inland Empire, like I'll put and I always tell you this, like, you're the reason why I think I get so many listings, because I'm so confident when I walk into a listing that I'm like, no one's gonna shoot better than us, no one's gonna market this house, no one's gonna make this house look as good. But I feel like your video style, like after I met with you in like the last year, now I feel like everyone's trying to do that video style that you've been doing for years, you know, and that's what like really I was like, dude, there's no one doing that kind of stuff, you know. And I think that's what, like you said, the wow factor. So, you know, a lot of people obviously want to sell their house and stuff like that. What are the things that, like, when you walk into a shoot where you're like, man, if the seller would have just done this, or what is it, like the few things that sellers can do to make your job easier?
Oh.
Or the agent, one or the other, whoever has to get the money.
Yeah, both. I would highly suggest agents, because it's the agent's job ultimately, right? So it's the agent's job to tell the sellers, like, this is what you should do, right? I would highly suggest agents going to take a class on interior design, or just talk to your stager. I would take that back. Not all stagers are equal. Yeah. Some people are just in it to like make money, throw some furniture there, but there's an art to it. There's a stager that I work with, Blake and Riley. She's a true interior designer. Cindy too. They know about interior. They know about open spaces and how things flow. Right when you walk into a door, right into a house, you want to make sure everything is open, so you don't see any backs of chairs, back of couches and whatnot. You want to make sure all the walkways are all clear, right? There's a certain way to put furniture in a house, and a lot of stagers don't really know that. And I tend to like go in there and I have to move things, you know. So I definitely recommend agents learn about interior design, you know, from a good designer.
Not from just anyone.
Not just from a stager. That right there is definitely key.
You ever thought maybe bringing that as like one more thing you bring to the table? You know what I mean? Like being like with your agents, being like, hey, my designer will come in a day before, you know what I mean? And bring that as more like a package deal, or? I would definitely do that. I would love to expand it to where like I'm a one-stop shop like that. Like I come to you and I'm like, yo, I got this house hitting the market. You're like, all right, cool. I got this person coming out. I got this person coming out.
Oh, dude, agents would like love that.
Yeah.
They don't have to plan with like a stager, you know, a cleaner, and like all this other stuff, right?
Like, that's the hard part, I think, with this industry, is like not a lot of stuff is like package deals. It's like, I gotta call this person, I gotta call that person, I gotta call this person. When it's like, dude, can we just all put this together? Like,
oh, that would be the ideal. But I would love to do that, but I think the issue is inventory with stagers, right?
There's not enough people.
Not
good ones.
I mean, I'm working with a stager right now, and you know, I refer all the time, but it's just inventory.
Yeah.
You know, and the furniture that she uses is like super high-end furniture.
High-end stuff.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes like what I like, you know, like in my market where it's just a lower end market, the average sale price is 400. That's like sometimes like I wish I could, but it's just so expensive.
It is.
It's so expensive.
It is.
The sellers, you know, some sellers don't see the value in it, or I'm just not making enough money on the deal to fork over the money to do it. And it's sometimes like, oh man, if we could just, because especially like vacant homes, I'll tell you, vacant homes are the hardest homes to sell because no one can imagine what they look like.
Yeah.
A vacant home, and even for you, like I hate when you shoot vacant homes because there's like there's nothing there. It's just like click, click, click. Even our property videos, it's like we still do them, but it's like God, there's no that creative background behind it. It just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would recommend when you stage a house is that is it an investment for you? If you're gonna farm the area, then yeah, do it. And then also, you don't need to stage everything, just a family room and then the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Right? That's all you really need to do. But that would actually help you sell the house a lot faster.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing I don't think people realize is that, you know, is that as agents or as sellers or anything, like a great photographer is gonna sell your house faster. Like it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I think my job as an agent, I try to tell everyone all the time, like I'm not gonna sell your house. Like the marketing, the pricing right, but it's like my job is to get as many eyes as possible on this house. So it's, for me, it's like if I'm gonna want as many eyes as possible, that's why we do the twilights, that's why we do those kind of things, those separations, so it just makes us to the next level. So are you still doing a lot of weddings, or are you mostly just strictly?
Oh no, weddings always get booked out a year in advance.
Okay.
So all my weddings for this year were booked last year. All my weddings for next year are being booked this year.
Are you still marketing yourself to that, or is that just word of mouth?
No, it's all word of mouth.
Yeah.
I don't market myself for weddings at all.
But do you have two separate Instagrams now, or no?
Oh yeah. I keep everything separate.
Separate.
Personal, weddings, real estate, and off-roading.
Off-roading.
And probably this car is gonna be another Instagram.
Dude, I want this car. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I keep everything separate just because, you know, and especially with agents, you know, when I see agents' Instagram, I see a lot of selfies.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's fine. I want to see who you are. Great. But like, you know, I want to see what you're gonna bring to the table for me.
Is that why we're friends? Because I take no selfies.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
nobody wants to see what you're eating. Nobody wants to see your cat. Nobody wants to see your kids. Maybe a little bit of that.
I think Instagram with agents is like really screwed up. I think it's one way or the other. They're like way too many houses, and all they post is just house.
Yeah.
Or it's the total opposite where people don't even know they're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think you and me understand, like, we're marketing firms for ourselves. Like, I'm gonna only put on there what's gonna make, like, what I want people to see, and it's the same type of branding and the same type of, and I think that's what people struggle with, is like representing, like, you have a brand. Like, I know anyone who hires you is gonna know exactly what you're gonna get because of what else you put out there. It's the same consistent work, same consistent product every single time.
Yeah, you just gotta. You don't want to keep it all just houses, houses. You want to put some personal information in there, so that way people can see who you are as a person, and you know if you're friendly or not, and you know you just got to make it personal, but not too much.
Yes, that balance.
There's got to be a balance for sure.
I think so. You like the last probably like 2 months, you started going heavy on stories, like what was the reasoning for that? I know like last time I saw you had like a whole new camera and it was set up just for stories. Like, what was the reasoning? What kind of made you think you want to start doing that?
So the whole story, so that way the story stuff, right, it keeps it personal, keeps it more fun than just putting everything all on your page on Instagram. It keeps it separate, right? I started doing that because it helps promote myself, and it helps promote the agents that's selling the property, you know? And that's the thing with like agents, like I was telling you before, like agents need to start sharing listings with each other. Exactly. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
I think that's what's so interesting is like I deal with that where I like try to share a listing, or I'm sending out listings, and agents don't realize, it's like, why are you doing that? It's like, you're doing that with Zillow and Realtor.com and all that stuff. Like, why not try to help me to help you? Like,
I think the issue is that a lot of agents are scared of losing their client. Yeah. Right? But if you have such a good relationship with your client, then they're not gonna flip on you.
Well, that's like for you, like you don't. That's why I think it's so funny. Like, and like I think more people need to realize, like for you, like Like you don't email drip me, you don't like put me in a CRM, you don't like. But sometimes I'll go ghost for a month, you know? But you're not like, oh my God, where's Adam at? Yeah. I don't think you do that with any of your clients. But I don't know why in real estate we do that, where we're like, oh, I have to put them in a CRM. I have to follow up with them every 2 weeks. It's like if you create a good brand and a good, you know, relationship with them. Like I see you every day on Instagram. Like I know exactly what you're doing. Even today I was like, where's Peter at? I'm like, oh, let me check his Instagram. Oh, he's in a meeting in Corona. Okay, cool. Like I don't know why people do that as agents. It's
2019. We got social media. It's agents that think like that, it's an old school way of thinking, like, oh, I'm going to lose my client. No, you're not.
Yeah.
If you provide such a good customer service to them, they're going to stick with you.
Yeah.
Right? If you're worried about that, that means you're not doing something right.
You're not doing your job. And that's what that thing is like I just hired a full-time assistant. And I think probably that's where you're at. I feel like I'm maxed out myself in service and clients. So it's like I have to hire someone on, or I'm going to stay stagnant, or my customer service is going to go off.
Yeah.
Like if I get any more clients, my customer service is going to go down unless I hire someone full time.
Yeah.
And I think that's something like where like you're more than a photographer, like you're building a company.
Yeah.
Like I look at it more and more than real estate. I'm building a company. So now you're trying to hire people, assistants, because sooner or later you just get crazy.
Yeah, dude. Summertime gets crazy.
Well, and like for you, it's like you went from like just weddings to like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and then you're like residential. Now it's like,
it's crazy.
I don't even know sometimes how you keep it together.
I don't know.
Because I tell you this, there's been times where I'm like, yo, book me. And then I text you like a week later and you're like, dude, I already booked out. I'm like, dang it. I freaking forgot to send you the address.
Yeah, it's been crazy. In order for you to grow, you have to expand, you know, and then if you don't expand, you're going to lose customer service.
For sure.
Right? So that's where I'm at. I need to expand so that way when I do travel, you know, I'm not worrying.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm at a point where I need to build a team.
So perfect, man. Well, we just got to your family restaurant, so we're gonna get out of here and go in there now.
Cool,
man. Later.